After the loquats in front of our house ripened, a jealous neighbor secretly sprayed pesticide on the tree. In my past life, I saw the neighbor spraying the pesticide and kindly urged the stealing villagers not to pick them. But the villagers called me stingy, chopped the tree, and violently looted it. Later, they died of poisoning from their greed, and their families came to my house to cause trouble. In the chaos, my grandma was pushed down a slope and died. My parents were so devastated they drank pesticide to commit suicide. When I opened my eyes again, I had returned to the day the neighbor sprayed pesticide on our tree. The pungent smell of pesticide jolted me awake from my nap. Opening my eyes, I saw a sneaky figure outside the window, carrying a pesticide sprayer on her back, spraying pesticide right onto our loquat tree. My mind suddenly buzzed. I realized I had been reborn. Looking at that supposedly honest face outside, which now wore a look of vicious resentment, my hands broke out in a cold sweat. We had several loquat trees taller than a house by our door, planted by my late grandpa. Because my grandma loved eating loquats, grandpa took great care of them. These trees bore a lot of fruit every year, big and sweet, but every year when the loquats ripened, many people in the village would come to steal them. Grandma had a good temper. Whenever she saw someone stealing, she'd just smile and tell them to use our ladder, afraid they'd fall and get hurt. Because of this, the whole village praised her as kind and generous. Little did we know her good reputation would draw the jealousy of our neighbor, Good Suishan. In my past life, on this exact noon, taking advantage of my family working in the fields, Good Suishan thought no one was home and secretly emptied a whole sprayer of pesticide onto the tree. Except she didn't know I was sick and had taken the day off from school. I witnessed her entire act, discovering the pesticide on the tree, and worried someone might eat them. I dragged my feverish body up, found a piece of hard cardboard, and wrote a warning sign: loquat sprayed with pesticide, do not pick. I hung it on the tree. But who knew? The stealing neighbors saw the sign and actually thought we hung it just to scare them off. After all, the fruit was ripe. Spraying pesticide now meant others couldn't steal it, but we couldn't eat it either. Who would be that stupid? In my past life, since my family wasn't home, I was terrified the villagers would eat the poison fruit and die from it. I rushed out to stop them, but the more I urged them, the more they picked. I stopped one, but couldn't stop another. I was so anxious I almost cried. Stop picking, there really is pesticide. I'm not lying. I saw Grandma Suishan next door, spraying it with my own eyes. Right then, Good Suishan rushed out and slapped me twice across the face. When did I ever spray pesticide on your tree? Stop your nonsense. It'll tear your mouth off. Good Suishan and my grandma never got along. She was jealous of how well grandpa treated grandma, while her own husband constantly abused her. She was jealous that my grandma had a son, while she only had daughters. Hearing the village praise my grandma's kindness, Good Suishan would often curse next door, saying grandma was faking it. In my past life, because of my severe cold and sheer weakness, Good Quixiang's shoving and beating made me faint directly. When I woke up, the loquat tree outside had been hacked by angry villagers until only bare branches remained. On the chopped branches, the golden loquats had been picked clean, and the ground was covered with crushed leaves. I was chilled to the bone with fear. I quickly told my family, who had just returned from the fields, about the tree being sprayed with pesticide by Grandma Suishan. That night, my parents and grandma took flashlights and went door to door telling everyone that our tree was sprayed with pesticide. They warned them not to eat it, or it would be fatal. Unexpectedly, not a single person believed me. Some even insulted us. What pesticide? I think your family is just stingy. Can't bear to part with a few loquats. We just ate a few of your loquats. Look how petty you're being. Even making up rumors that someone poisoned your tree. Enduring the curses all over the village, our family went home dejected. But we thought, since we've notified everyone, even if they didn't believe us, once they smelled the pesticide on the fruit, they wouldn't eat them, right? But disaster struck the next day. Auntie Urchong and her young grandson, along with San Lizi and his wife, died from eating our loquats. The two families carried the corpses and stormed into our house, demanding my parents pay up. I desperately explained that we didn't spray the pesticide. It was Grandma Suishan next door. Good Suishan charged over to hit me, and Grandma blocked her to protect me. In the chaos, Grandma was pushed down the slope. Her head hit a large blue stone, and she died right there. Seeing someone had died, the villagers scattered. Only the Urchong and San Lizi families remained, demanding money. In my past life, my parents were forced to their knees begging for mercy, but the two families insisted on 1 million each, otherwise they'd claim I sprayed it and send me to jail. That was 2 million yuan. We couldn't pay even if we sold our house. To protect me, my parents left a suicide note, saying they'd pay with their lives, and both drank pesticide. After my parents died, Good Suishan instigated our relatives, saying I was unfilial and incapable of protecting my family, so I didn't deserve to inherit the house and land. The relatives divided our property and kicked me out. Later, on my way to the police station to report the case, I was struck and killed by a speeding truck. My thoughts were pulled back. Looking at the sneaking figure outside, I took out my phone and quietly recorded Good Suishan spraying the pesticide. After she left with her sprayer, I didn't pick and throw away the poison loquats. Instead, just like in my past life, I wrote a warning sign and hung it up. In the afternoon, sure enough, a few villagers, seeing no one home, came over with baskets to steal loquats. Even though grandma was generous and often told them to pick as they pleased, the villagers still cared about face. When someone was watching, they'd only take a handful to taste. Therefore, every year, greedy people would take advantage of my family working in the fields, bringing baskets and large crates to steal loads at a time. Our loquats were huge and sweet, even better than the ones in fruit shops. People always stole a lot to give as gifts. Seeing Auntie Urchang and the Sanlizhi couple, I sneered inwardly. They came as expected. Neither of these families were good people. Auntie Urchang was famous for her greed. Stealing from us was like taking from her own home. When the loquats ripened, she'd steal them. When the waxberries ripened, she'd steal those too. One year, my dad planted passion fruit in the backyard, saving them for when I came home. To our surprise, Auntie Urchan stole every single one. When my dad went to her house, she had just returned from selling them in town and was smugly counting the money. Auntie Urchan rolled her eyes and told my dad, "He's just a boy. Why treasure him so much? He'll have to go out into the world anyway. Does he even deserve such a rare fruit?" If Auntie Urchan was just incredibly greedy, then the Sanlizhi couple was rotten to the core. One year during loquat season, they brought 4 huge baskets and sneaked over at midnight to steal. Unexpectedly, while climbing the tree, Sanlizhi missed a step and fell from the tree, breaking his arm. Afterward, the couple insisted they were just kindly helping us pick loquats, and since he got hurt falling from our tree, my family had to pay his medical bills. My parents and grandma were honest people who didn't know how to argue. Harassed by the couple for days, they finally had no choice but to hand over the 5,000 yuan saved for grandma's medical expenses and gave it to Sanlizhi. Watching these two families greedily pick the loquats, even snapping branches and throwing them everywhere, I sneered inwardly. Pick them, eat till you drop. Only this time, I won't let the real culprit get away with it. After finishing the recording, I took out my phone, found the village chief's WeChat, and asked him to pull me into that village notification group chat. These days, the young villagers work in the cities, and the elders don't really know how to use smartphones, so the village created a group chat and added all the young people in it. Usually, when there are notices or votes to organize, they are sent in this group. After joining the group, I immediately sent a large red envelope, which instantly got everyone's attention. People in the group asked, "Did you strike it rich? Why such a big red envelope?" I directly sent the video of Good Suexiang spraying pesticide on our loquat tree, followed by a loudly crying emoji, and explained, "Grandma told me to send the red envelope. I'm so sorry. In past years, when our loquats ripen, we let everyone eat them freely. But this year, Grandma Suexian next door sprayed pesticide on. Grandma is terrified someone might die eating them, so she told me to send a red envelope to give everyone a warning. Please, uncles and aunties, call your families at home and let them know there's pesticide on the loquats. Tell everyone absolutely not to pick and eat them." The group was quiet for a moment, then suddenly flooded with curses. Is Good Suexian crazy? Why spray pesticide on someone else's loquat tree for no reason? Is she trying to poison the whole village? The villagers chimed in one by one, even more furious than makes sense. In past years, they all got free, sweet loquats. This year, just when they were ripe, Good Suexiang ruined them with pesticide. Seeing a whole tree of golden loquats that couldn't be eaten, how could they not be angry? After replying to the villagers in the group to ensure everyone was notified, I looked up through the window. Sanlizhi had already climbed the tree, straddling a branch. While picking loquats, he peeled them and shoved them into his mouth. Below the tree, his wife acted like a starving ghost, frantically stuffing loquats into her mouth too. The Sanlizhi couple were famous slackers, poor and lazy. They never spent money on fruit. Instead, whenever someone else's fruit ripened, they'd steal some to eat. Because my parents were hardworking and planted many fruit trees, we were the family they stole from the most. Nearby, Auntie Urchan was also picking, peeling them and stuffing them into her grandson's mouth. Looking at that chubby little boy, the Urchan family had once arrogantly said their child was only 9, and even if we called the police, the cops couldn't do anything to him. Such a young kid had at most get a scolding, and definitely wouldn't go to jail. This time around, I won't send them to jail, because I want to watch them walk the bridge to the underworld themselves. Auntie Urchan and the Sanlizhi family returned fully loaded. They stripped the lower branches of the poisoned loquats completely clean. Watching them leave with heavy baskets, I immediately dialed my dad's phone. "Dad, come back quick. Something happened at home. Grandma Suexian next door sprayed pesticide on our loquat tree." I notified the group chat, but when I came out of the bathroom just now, I saw a lot of our loquats were stolen. I don't know who missed the notice and stole our loquats. Will someone die eating them? Hearing my words, my parents dropped their farm work and rushed back in a panic. Seeing my parents with mud on their feet and grandma following behind, my eyes reddened, and I threw myself into their arms, wailing, "Jingyu, what's wrong? Were you bullied at school? Why are you suddenly back?" My parents were frantic. Grandma also rushed over, looking at me anxiously. I shook my head. "I wasn't bullied. I just got a fever." The teacher was worried I'd spread the flu, so they told me to rest at home for a few days and go back when my fever breaks. My parents breathed a sigh of relief. They told grandma to take me inside, and without even changing their shoes, they hurried to find people in the village. Unfortunately, it was too late. The greedy Urchong family and the San Lizy couple had been eating as they walked. By the time they got home, each had eaten at least half a gene of the poisoned loquats. When my dad arrived, both families were already frothing at the mouth. Hearing that the loquats had pesticide, their relatives quickly drove them to the local clinic. When they arrived, Urkyang's grandson was already dead. San Lizy had eaten the most. He was barely breathing when they brought him in. After a day and a night of emergency treatment, San Lizy still died. Fortunately, Auntie Urchong and San Lizy's wife were saved. But what awaited them wasn't a hug of relief, but tight slaps from their own families. Uncle Urchong landed a slap that knocked Auntie Urkyang's head sideways. Our son sends you 2,000 yuan a month. Are we that short on food? You just had to go steal. Now look, our grandson is gone. How are you going to explain this to our son and daughter-in-law? Uncle Urkyang's son and daughter-in-law worked in the city. Their only son was left in the hometown. Afraid their son would suffer in the countryside, they sent 2,000 yuan a month to his grandmother so she could buy good food for him. Hearing her chubby grandson was dead and poisoned by the very loquat she stole, Auntie Urchong glared at our family sinisterly. It's all your fault. My grandson died eating your loquats. Urchong, why are you hitting me? Go settle the score with Jingyu's family. Uncle Urchong slapped her again. Settle what score? The pesticide on the loquats was sprayed by that old hag Good Suishang. Auntie Urchong froze, then suddenly seemed to realize. Right. Good Suishang killed my grandson. She never had a son her whole life, only gave birth to 3 useless daughters, and doesn't even have a grandson of her own. She must be jealous I have a grandson, so she intentionally poisoned them to kill my precious grandson. San Liza's older brother was also furious, slapping San Liza's wife until her face swelled. You lazy jinx. I shouldn't have been soft-hearted and let my brother marry you. If he liked loquats, you could have just planted some. It wouldn't have killed you, but you greedy pig. Too lazy to plant. You had to go steal someone else's. My poor brother. He was killed by you, you jinx. I quickly forwarded the video on my phone to them. You better go find Grandma Suishang. It's her fault for spraying our tree with pesticide. She caused all of this. The two families exchanged a look, then bolted towards Gu Quixiang's house. I followed behind and dialed the police. Hello, I want to report a crime. Someone maliciously poisoned our loquats. 2 villagers have already died from eating them. The 2 families brought the corpses and stormed into Gu Quixiang's house, making a huge scene, demanding money. Good Suishang was anxious and angry. Pointing at my grandma, she yelled, they ate Jingyu's family's loquats and died. Go look for Jingyu's grandma. It's definitely because they're stingy and didn't want the village to eat their loquats, so they purposely sprayed pesticides. San Liza's older brother spat viciously at Good Suishang. You're still spreading rumors to harm others? We all saw the video. You sprayed pesticide on Jinyu's tree, and that's what killed my brother. Good Suishang panicked. What video? I don't know anything about it. I took out my phone, turned the volume to max, and shoved the screen right in the old woman's face. Grandma Suishang, our family never wronged you. Why do you want to harm us so badly? Who doesn't know that villagers pick and eat our loquats every year? You deliberately sneaked over to spray pesticide on our tree. Were you trying to poison the whole village and then frame my parents for it? Suishang never expected that all this had been recorded by me. She quickly argued, I didn't spray pesticide. The sprayer didn't have pesticide in it. It was just river water. I saw your tree looking a little wilted, so I kindly sprayed some water for you, okay? Right at that moment, the piercing sound of police sirens came from outside. I sneered, put away my phone, and made way for the arriving police. Whether you sprayed pesticide or water, I believe the police will investigate thoroughly and clear the names of the dead. They insisted on stealing loquats. What does that have to do with me? Good Suishang struggled as she was escorted into the police car. Guest house was also cordoned off with police tape. The investigating officers quickly found the pesticide sprayer and an empty pesticide bottle in the yard. After testing, the pesticide in the bottle matched exactly the residue on our tree. Because I secretly recorded the video, I was also taken to the station to give a statement. Little Jingyu, you knew Good Suishang was spraying pesticide on your tree. Why didn't you go out and stop her? I smiled bitterly and answered, because I was running a fever at the time. I had no strength at all. Plus, Grandma Suishang doesn't like my family, and no one was home. I was afraid she'd hit me, so I decided to just record a video to show my dad. Later, I was worried villagers might eat them, so I sent the video to our village group chat. I notified everyone in the group one by one, telling them to warn their families that our tree was sprayed with pesticide, and told everyone not to pick them. I was also afraid someone might miss the message, so I even wrote a warning sign and hung it on the tree. If you don't believe me, go take a look. The sign should still be there. The police continued asking. Then when the Urchang and San Lizy families came to steal your loquats, why didn't you go out and stop them? them. With a bitter expression, I replied, I didn't know they came to steal our loquats. My stomach was hurting at the time, so I was out back using the toilet. When I came out, I found the ground in front was full of leaves, and many loquats had been stolen. I was afraid something bad would happen, so I called my dad immediately. If you don't believe me, you can check my call logs with my dad. I unlocked my phone and handed it to the police. An hour later, I finished my statement and came out. My parents and grandma had been waiting outside. Seeing me come out, the whole family quickly gathered around. I said with a relaxed expression, it's fine now, let's go home. Yes, in this life, our whole family is safe and sound. The ones who deserved to die were those greedy, shameless, envious evildoers. We had just arrived home when we heard wailing and smashing sounds from next door. Stop smashing. Stop it. Good Suexiang sprayed the pesticide. What does that have to do with me? Good Suexiang is your wife. She harmed people, so you have to pay. I'm going to divorce that bitch Good Suexiang. Once she gets out of the station, you'll divorce her. She's no longer part of our family. If you want money, go ask her. Or go ask her maiden family. Good Quixiang's husband was red in the face with anger, but no one stood up for him. This man was a typical domestic tyrant. He normally loved beating his wife at home. Before their 3 daughters were married off, they were also beaten constantly. After marrying, aside from bringing gifts on holidays just for appearances, they never returned to their maiden home. Now that Good Suexiang caused such a huge disaster, he called his daughters and sons-in-law back, but not a single one was willing to help. Don't even ask. If you ask, it's because when they got married, this man personally said, a married daughter is like splashed water. Don't come back if there's nothing going on. Look how obedient they were. Their own father forbade them to come back, so they resolutely stayed away. Go Quixiang's house was smashed to pieces by the Erqiang and San Lizi families. The family bank book, 2 big pigs, a donkey, a dozen egg-laying hens, and over 20 sacks of unhusked rice were all divided by the 2 families. Auntie Erqiang's young grandson's corpse and San Liza's corpse were just left parked in Go Quixiang's house. In my past life, the 2 families did the same, bringing the corpses to our yard, threatening that if we didn't pay, they'd let the bodies rot in our house, turning it into a haunted house. Back then, my parents and I desperately wanted to kneel and kowtow to Go Quixiang's family, begging them, for the sake of being neighbors, to step up and speak the truth. After all, they knew perfectly well who actually sprayed the pesticide on the tree. But what did Good Suexiang and her husband say back then? The tree is yours. You didn't guard it well yourself and let someone spray it with pesticide. Now people have been poisoned to death. If your family doesn't pay, who should pay? They beat them to death, and they wouldn't admit they sprayed it themselves. In our past life, we had no proof. Ultimately, my parents were forced alive to drink pesticide, and on my way to appeal for justice, I died tragically in a car crash. In this life, the tables have turned. It was finally our turn to enjoy the show. Seeing our family return, Go Quixiang's husband quickly tried to shift the blame. He pointed at my parents and said, even if my wife sprayed the pesticide, the tree belongs to Jingyu's family. If you 2 families didn't steal their loquats, how could you have been poisoned? Jingyu's family is responsible too. Why don't you ask them for money? Jingyu is about to take his college entrance exam. Go demand money from his family. If they don't pay, go make a scene at his school. Make it so he can't go to school, and they will definitely pay. My heart skipped a beat. Sure enough, the Erqiang and San Lizi families all looked our way. Their eyes were filled with the fanaticism of eating blood-soaked mantu. My parents and grandma were honest folks, and they panicked upon seeing this. Why? Why do good people not get rewarded? The consequence of being kind to others was being bullied. Looking at the crowd of onlookers, I walked forward with red eyes and suddenly bowed deeply to everyone. Grandpas, grandmas, uncles and aunties. Over the years, who in the village hasn't eaten our loquats? My grandma and my parents always treated everyone like family. I just want to ask, over these years, whoever came to pick loquats from our house, did my parents ever stop them? You've eaten our loquats for years. I'm not asking you to back us up, just to speak the truth for us. Those loquat trees were indeed planted by our family, but we never invited Auntie Erqiang and San Liza's family to steal them, did we? My words made the previously indifferent villagers lower their heads in shame. That was indeed the logic. Farming in the countryside. Who doesn't spray some pesticide and bug spray? If our family really had to pay up, then everyone in the village would follow suit. How could they keep farming after that? Seeing the villagers chime in one by one, speaking up for us, I secretly sighed in relief. Right then, Go Quixiang's husband suddenly charged over, raising his hand to strike. My dad had never fought anyone in his life, but he pulled me aside and swung his fist back at the man. One was a weakling ruined by chronic drinking, the other a strong farmer working the fields. In no time, my dad pinned Go Quixiang's husband to the ground and gave him a severe beating. After the beating, our family also refused to leave Go Quixiang's yard. My mom yelled at the top of her lungs, demanding Go Quixiang's husband pay us back. Since you say our fruit harmed you, then fine, let's settle accounts today. Over the years, how much fruit has your family stolen from us? You compensate us for that, and from now on, don't you have the face to ever come pick fruit at our house again. Save yourselves the trouble of getting sick and then blaming us, saying that she turned to the few villagers who had just said our family should pay. And you few families don't leave either. Over the years, how many loquats have you picked from us? How many plums and peaches? Even pomegranates? Settle the bill for all of that today. Those families' expressions turned ugly. Everyone in the village knew my parents and grandma were easygoing. Over the years, whenever the fruits and vegetables in our fields ripened, someone always came to take advantage. My parents were hardworking, managing the fruit trees and vegetable garden very meticulously. Our produce always tasted better than others. The families who were just kicking us while we were down had taken plenty of advantage of us normally. Not only did they eat it themselves, they'd pack it to go, taking a lot every time to give to their relatives or send to their children working in the city. In the past, my parents and grandma used to say, we only have a few people in our family anyway. We can't finish all the fruit on the trees. Might as well give them away as favors. If the villagers remember our kindness, they'll help us out in the future when we run into difficulties. But they never expected kindness could breed resentment. After eating our fruit for so many years, when our family was wrongfully accused, the first ones to kick us while we were down were actually those who took the most advantage of us. Instead, it was the ones who rarely came. These people immediately transformed into righteous saints and began siding with us to condemn Gu Quixiang's family, saying they were being unreasonable. You clearly sprayed the pesticide and killed them yourself, and you're trying to frame Jingyu's family. See? Everyone understands reason. It's just that when the knife isn't sticking in them, they simply don't know the pain. Seeing my parents insist on the fruit thieves paying compensation, the Urchang and San Lizi families started feeling guilty. When it came to stealing fruit from our house, the ones who stole the most over the years were these two families. If we really settled accounts, it would be our family claiming damages from them. Besides, Gu Xiang had already been arrested, and I had the evidence of her spraying pesticide. Even if this went to court, they'd have no proof to demand money from us. It all boils down to this. No one held a knife to their necks forcing them to steal our loquats. Their greed was endless, eating and stealing, and now they got themselves killed eating it. Could they possibly blame my grandpa for planting a loquat tree at his own door? Because the evidence was conclusive. Gu Xiang was convicted of fatal poisoning and sentenced to life in prison. I heard that after the verdict came out, her husband chased her all the way to prison with a divorce agreement, demanding a divorce. You're serving a life sentence. You'll probably never get out in this lifetime. I'm a grown man. I can't live like a widower for the rest of my life. Hurry up and sign the papers. Don't stop me from finding someone else. Gu Xiang cried and made a scene inside, refusing to divorce. But her refusal was useless. Not long after, her husband brought an old widow back from outside, and the two shamelessly lived together. Auntie Urchang, having consumed excess pesticide, along with San Liza's wife, didn't even live to see the verdict. Due to complications and respiratory failure, they both died in their hospital beds. After this incident, Grandma wiped her tears and told my dad to grab an axe and chop down those troublesome loquat trees. My dad was about to get the axe when I stopped him. Grandma, it's people who make mistakes, not the loquat trees. Besides, these loquat trees were specially planted for you by Grandpa when he was alive. Now that Grandpa is gone, these trees are the last memento you have of him. How can you chop down Grandpa's memento just because of a few thieves? Grandma hugged me and cried her heart out. I knew she couldn't bear to chop down the trees that Grandpa planted with his own hands either. However, this incident wasn't entirely without its benefits. At least since then, for a very long time, villagers didn't dare to casually steal fruit from others to eat. After all, you only have one life. Who could guarantee that other people's fruit trees hadn't been sprayed with pesticide? My parents and grandma also learned a lesson from this. From then on, if anyone came to steal fruit, they would drive them away. Otherwise, what if it made someone sick? With so much fruit we couldn't finish it all. My parents started picking it and selling it at the market. It actually made our lives better and better. A few years later, I heard that Gu Xiang, jealous that her inmates' families frequently sent them things, while her own husband and daughters never once visited or brought her anything, actually secretly slipped contraband into an inmate's water cup. After the incident was exposed, Gu Quixiang's chance of a sentence reduction vanished. Not long after, she died in prison from an accident. By this time, I had already graduated from college. During college, my classmates and I started a short video business. After making my first pot of gold, I secretly bought a villa in the city for my parents and grandma. When we moved, I dug up all those fruit trees from around our old house and transplanted them into the villa's yard. The loquat trees Grandpa planted for Grandma, the pomegranate and juju trees Dad planted for Mom, and the honey peach trees my family planted for me, along with sugar oranges, navel oranges, lemons, and more. Perhaps in the eyes of the villagers, these fruit trees were just novelties to enjoy when harvest season came around every year. But for me and my family, these fruit trees witnessed the family bonds and love of our household. Later, I also met a girl who was willing to plant sweet fruit trees with me. After hearing about the loquat poisoning incident that happened to our family back then, she directly told me to raise the courtyard walls of our marital villa to 3 meters. With that, no one could ever steal the loquats from our yard again.